Hey fan peeps, this is your podcast host Kunal here. I started this during the pandemic, and in this podcast I discuss my nerdy thoughts and hobbies with you, with the occasional special guest. From anime to Zeppelins, we talk about it all. So today's episode's gonna be a little weird. And weird, I mean amazing. And by amazing, I mean very unique. Those adjectives are not synonyms. So we hanging out with my brother, and today I'm joined by Sydney.
Hello.
How are you, Sydney?
Pretty good.
Cool. So I was with my brother, and I was talking about just hanging out with you in general, and I go like, yeah, like sometimes Sid asks me questions about like what's it like being a brown person or from like Indian heritage, because Indian American kid over here, and then sometimes I just have questions for like African American culture because it's pervasive and everywhere, and we love it, and you remember, but there's always questions, and I feel like you could speak to this too, Sydney.
Yes.
I never call you Sydney.
You never call. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's official. That's how you know we mean business.
That's right.
Now.
I was like, oh, shit's about to go down. there's just questions we have, and in the spirit of Dave Chappelle, like with a lot of the stuff aside that's controversial, he had a really cool, funny sketch about like ask a black person.
Oh yeah, I love that.
And
yeah.
sometimes I feel we need to bring it back.
Yes.
But for not just for black people, but for everybody.
Oh yeah.
So today's episode is going to be more along those lines. It's like, is it racist? But it's not racist. No. We're asking questions here.
Exactly.
We're going together. Questions that we've always just quietly been like, I support equal rights, but I just, this tickles my brain.
What's going on? What's going on there? What's that about? Yeah.
So in the spirit of racial equality, I'll let you decide who goes first.
All right. Well, we're not getting reparations anytime soon. So let's go ahead and start with the black people questions.
All right, so you want me to go?
Yes.
Okay. So number one, this has been there for the whole time, and I have no context for it at all. All I know is that I see it in TV. I've heard about it from other people, and like, why do black people smoke menthols?
Oh, menthols, man. How could you not smoke menthols?
I had asthma, so I never did.
Fair enough. It's that cool, refreshing smell and taste with the menthols. I don't smoke. I'm just bullshit. But I think why black people smoke menthols is because it's just another way of dealing with the pain and trauma in everyday life of being black.
Fuck. Well, hell yeah. I mean, only time I really know like what kind of aroma you're talking about is like I have something to help my sinuses and stuff like that, and it's they use these vapor pads, and one of the ingredients is menthol. Mm-hmm. Just to help with that, so I believe it.
It's a nice soother, essentially.
Yeah, it's like a soothing vapor for your lungs and stuff while it's killing you.
Yeah,
but it helps along the way.
Yeah, menthols are mostly sold in disenfranchised neighborhoods and
right next to food deserts and shit.
Yep. Yeah, liquor store right next to the gun store.
Right,
with the payday loan, title loan.
The red box is not far.
Exactly.
Okay.
All in the same little strip.
I bet there's some great Chinese food nearby, though.
Oh, yeah, fire. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Fire chop suey. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So there's no fucking pivots in this episode.
Nope.
Typically what I've met, shall we say, black folks of an older designation, like late 40s, early 50s, I often get called Mr. K. Mm-hmm. And I've always been confused by this because I was like, that's not my name. But I mean, it's endearing. Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah.
But it's always happened.
It's happening with the older crowd, right?
Yes, very much so.
I think that has a lot to do with the older crowd trying to fight just to get being called Mr. or Mrs. Like having the respect of those titles. So they probably see you and respect you enough, and they're like, okay, they're like, you get the Mr. Mr. K. And
okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's actually really sweet. I like that.
Yeah, because traditionally we weren't. Yeah. Those are the pronouns we've been fighting for, like Mr. and Mrs. So.
Oh my god. That's fucking And both are valid fights. Both are valid.
They're both valid. Both
valid fights.
But you get called boy or girl like a lot. You don't want to be. So
it is kind of weird, and I'm not trying to take away from that, but like because I'm a smaller guy, I definitely get called buddy a lot by people. And like I know it's nothing mean, but it kind of just happens unconsciously from their side, and I'm like, all right, I'll take it. I'll win it. Let's play with this. Fine. Your buddy wants his stuff done, so we'll get it done.
Exactly.
Done for it.
Yeah, it almost sounds derogatory. Yeah, but
It is a little weird, but they don't even realize they're doing it because one, like that's part of the like it's actually also kind of funny. Like when I was an admission counselor for like 3 seconds, I grew out a goatee, and I'm talking to my boss, and he just like looks at me, looks up, and he was at his desk, and I was standing up. And he looks at me, he's like smiles, and he goes, "Are you growing out your goatee so you seem more like an adult?"
Wow.
and like he just. I was like, I kind of smiled and I go, exactly.
He knew. He's like, yeah.
He knew exactly what was going on because, like, he knew that a lot of kids that they hire are like in their 20s, so they still are pretty close to a lot of the people they talk to. But he called that right on the nose for that to happen.
Wow.
That explains why I've seen some older black folks also say like, "My name's Mrs. T or Mrs. like this and that." Okay, that explains that quite well.
They want that respect. The title of respect,
and they deserve it. Like for the shit that they saw, especially in the 50s. Like, I believe it. This is a question that I will probably get. Why do y'all date white people?
Oh man, I gotta be careful with this one.
Oh no.
You know the Florence Nightingale effect.
What?
Yeah, you kind of fall in love with your abuser.
I thought she was helping though.
Oh wait, then that's completely invalid.
Yeah, I was
Never mind.
I thought she was the nurse that was helping them, but I kind of see what you're saying now.
Yeah, throw that completely out.
Stockholm
syndrome. Yeah, wrong one. Yeah, correct.
Of sorts. Yeah.
Stockholm, exactly. Yeah. Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, pretty much. You're in love with the person like abuse you, essentially.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, it's not brainwashing, but like kind of subliminal advertising. Like we're always seeing like white masculinity or white femininity as like the top achievable thing to have, and so every like person of color, and I know here at least in the Western world, kind of have that brainwashing that in their mind.
Yeah, it's weird. Know? Like even though if you're, it's like the if you do that, you're reaching the height of success.
Yeah.
I would lie to say that if it didn't bounce around in my head.
Yeah.
When I was a kid too.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I wouldn't, and I'm going to preface that by saying that not everybody who is involved in an interracial relationship is thinking that way.
Right. Of course. And this is a good point to bring this up. All the questions we asked each other or wrote on this episode were done with like, if we said it was too far, we were going to take it off, and so everything was done with complete transparency.
Yeah.
For this
exactly.
episode.
Yeah. Not everybody's that's involved in a relationship is coming at it from that tip. Some people actually like love other people regardless of like their skin color, origin, whatever.
The reason I bring it up also is because Chappelle's show talks about Tiger Woods in the racial draft.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he dates a white woman.
Yeah.
Sounds like a black man to me.
Exactly. Also, there's this like, which I think is a misconception, but I think it comes from somewhere, but there's a stereotype that, oh, well, white women will just like, they'll do anything for you. and like, they're subservient and all this BS, and like I don't think that's true necessarily.
Yeah, I mean I've seen it's not true.
Yeah, ask Tiger Woods if if it's true or not. But a lot of black dudes have that impression that like, oh well, black men kind of, which is annoying, like have been campaigning to like not date within their own race because it's kind of like, oh, you know what, black women have attitudes. Like that whole stereotype deal and all that, and then like they figure like, oh well, if I go over to a white woman, it's gonna be completely different.
That's not gonna work. I'm just gonna say that.
No, yeah, I think a lot of black dudes have figured out that like, oh yeah, the culture is different, the dynamic is different. White women might be nice to you on the front end, but they can be cold, heartless bitches on the back end.
I have experienced this. Yes.
So it's just coming at you. But meanwhile, like there's a comedian that said,
we're talking in stereotypes.
Stereotypes,
please,
of course.
Please relax. Please relax. We're talking in stereotypes.
Well, who's the guy that passed away? Big black dude.
Patrice O'Neal.
Patrice O'Neal. He had a good a good joke. He said, black women, you could shoot a black woman.
What?
And somehow you guys would work that shit out and like make y'all come back together. Black women might be rough on the front end, but on the back end they got your back. Is essentially what he's saying. He's of course like going over the board with the joke, but
definitely.
Yeah, like I do think black women will definitely be there and have your back. It's yeah.
There's no pivot from that one.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where to fucking go except for super positive. You all have amazing dancing and music. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
Okay.
welcome, man.
Whenever I've asked some black people, like, how are you? They're like, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I feel like there's so much being unsaid there.
They can't say that they're happy. Can't say that like.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's really messed up. But
I had a feeling it was along this line, but go ahead. Yeah.
it's like they're not at their worst, but it's like you're kind of in the zone where you're kind of tired of dealing with the same reoccurring things over and over and over again. So it's like it's tiring. You're going to be okay, but at the same time, it's like you're not okay. So it's like this is where I'm here with this. I'm gonna be all right, but this is some bullshit that's going on. Like,
Which is fair.
yeah,
Which is very fair.
yeah.
And that's pretty much along the lines of what I thought it was. I hear also the light and dark skin war exists in your community.
Mm-hmm.
And how bad can it get?
That goes all the way back to slavery, but historically, like within the context of the eye of white people in this country, if you're seen as being fair-skinned or closer to their complexion, then you have a lot of qualities that must be associated with that, right? So you must be smarter, you must be more intelligent, and
More human
than your dark-skinned counterparts. And it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
But instead of us like realizing that it's bullshit, we kind of bought into it, and so a lot of us believe that those things are true when they not necessarily are, and it's caused division, it's caused animosity and split down the middle between dark-skinned people and light-skinned people, and still to this day we still deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I'm afraid to ask the rest of these questions.
Go for it, man.
What do you know about the Bloods and the Crips?
Well, I'm not affiliated with either, so don't want to.
I figured as much.
They weren't recruiting me, so.
They saw you watching Dragon Ball Z, and they're like, nah.
Nah, we'll pass. I know historically, so I know the Bloods and Crips come from the fallout from the Black Panther movement.
That's why, yeah.
Yeah, so, you did have, after they got broken up by the government, specifically it was
Quintel-Pro?
They had two leaders that I believe one went to the East Coast, one to the West Coast. And
Just like rap. Okay.
Yeah. And they were, I guess, originally they were supposed to be still following the tenets of the Black Panther movement, but with crack hitting in the 80s and different things, of course, like bringing them down, the movement got away from like community engagement and involvement and kind of like just fell into crime, essentially.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Today they're pretty much known as like the red and blue gang that are always against each other.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go to certain areas you don't wear those colors. And
which I think to an extent isn't. I don't know much about it, but I would say that I have seen them working together in certain aspects.
So I specifically like Killer Mike did a whole thing about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. They made a vegan like soft drink.
Yeah,
which I was very surprised by.
Yeah,
and all I know is that I went through, and they were able to do that, and it was one example of Killer Mike coming into the community and just making it better. Honestly, it's what he normally does. But what was the example you were going to give?
Like I know during after Mike Brown and like the Black Lives Matter movement and things like that, they have been calling truce and working together to make the community better. It's
Holy shit.
So, yeah, it's not. I still think there is that animosity between both of them, but I think that they do work out some things together from time to time. So,
shit. Okay.
Just saying. So I respect both of them. Just saying that, just throwing it out there. The ones that are doing great, appreciate it.
Keep on doing it.
Keep on doing it.
That's right. Yeah, that kind of covers the whole idea of what does it mean to be a gang member, and that's a complex question because there could be members in the group who are showing up on the news, and then members in the group who are trying to help in the community, whatever that may be.
Yeah,
and they're part of the same gang, as far as I've seen or understood.
Yeah.
How did pink Cadillacs become a thing?
Pink Cadillacs, man. Well, first of all, Cadillac is the official vehicle of the black man from from the 50s through the 70s. So it came a lot. it was big, especially in the 70s. I think it became popular amongst black people due to like film. So like all the black exploitation films, all the pimps and like the cool dudes,
Black Dynamite.
like Black Dynamite. Well, it's a spoof on that 70s culture, but correct. Yeah, essentially. Basically, yeah, all the pimps, all the cool characters in those movies, like drove around in like Cadillacs and the big cars of the day, and that was like the popular car to have. So,
Yeah.
I would say not so much anymore. I feel like older generations like Cadillacs.
Stopped after 2000s, I feel.
Yeah,
A lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember we had a mutual friend one time. He had like a Cadillac SUV.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and he was like, I don't know what we were doing. We were like hanging out for a night or something. And he was like, yeah, this is the black man's dream right here. I'm like, I mean, I kind of fuck with electric cars, but, you know, that's cool. And it kind of like busted his bird was like, oh, you know.
Yeah. It's just funny how the stereotype has persisted, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, it doesn't show up anywhere.
And Cadillac, they arguably don't make cars that like are that have that look, that iconic look of the 70s anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like they're more modernized, and I don't know. But there is a song that came out, I want to say maybe less than 10 years ago, maybe more. It was called Cadillactica.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember how it sounds, but I remember
Yeah.
something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's basically saying, fuck anything else you drive. If you drive a RAV4, like, fuck that. Like, it's all about Cadillacs. I forget the artist's name, but I know the song is called Cadillac.
I remember, I could just imagine you listening to that going, "Aw."
Yeah. I like RAV4s. RAV4s are awesome. They're so practical, but yeah.
They are very practical. I might be getting that either an electric or hybrid, one of the two.
Nice.
I'm gonna see. I want to get electric, but like, I don't know. You and I have talked about this a little bit, but it's like,
yeah.
I'm glad they're up, but it seems like they're having problems with it, and I wonder how much of is my dad telling me that, and how much of me is just like, just like fucking like whatever, man. Let's just sell this car and get this car.
All cars have issues, gas or electric.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I definitely have noticed a bias in terms of like how they market it now. It's like any small problem, they will blow it up on the news for for electric cars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The part that did freak me out a little bit is like firefighters are saying that it's because of lithium ion batteries. And I don't know if this is true or not, but like because of lithium ion batteries, they burn and they have a tough time taking them out.
Because water doesn't do it. You have to like do extra stuff to it. Yeah, it takes a lot of water to
use
get
some
out.
science there.
Yeah. But I mean, for someone who's been next to 2 car fires in their lifetime,
Jesus,
car fire, a gasoline engine is pretty scary and pretty intense.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So.
I'm glad you made it.
Yeah. I'm here.
Okay. Cool. That's all the questions I had for you.
All right. Yes.
Or as they say in yoga classes, namaste.
Namaste. Namaste in bed. All right. I'm sorry.
I thought that was hilarious.
All right. My first question, and hindsight as a person of color, like, I know why, but I want to hear it from your perspective.
Please do.
Why so much spice?
We fucking love it.
Yes.
We fucking love it. It's ancient wise. It's a great way of like preserving your food. Mm-hmm. Number 2, India's been invaded by so many different people. So many different spices have been brought in. Mm-hmm. So that's why we go nuts about it. Love doing it. We love flavoring our food. We come over here and it's just like, I've had people. There have been a handful of times where I've had white people cook me dinner, sweet people, great, all this stuff. But then I go home and have a different meal because it was so bad. Like, I've totally done that. And here's the catch that I feel is propagated a little too much. Like, as much as we love spice, like, I put enough of it to have flavor.
Exactly.
I don't like having a terrible day in the bathroom the next morning.
Yeah.
Because that's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. One of my friends was like, "No, you can put whatever you want, dude. I'm not gonna fuck myself over."
Uh-huh.
My brother's a psychopath. He can put as much spice as he wants, and he's fine.
Wow.
Going to like Thai restaurants and get like Thai level 2, and I'm like scratching by on medium, and
oh man,
and even medium's like, "Oh, how spicy?" He's like, "Yeah, it's nice."
Black people, that same deal.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we fuck with the spice.
It's like, yeah, it's like you go to the Caribbean, you have the best combination of Just we like people there know how to cook okra because you got the best combination of black and Indian.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Gotta have if food, you have to taste your fucking food.
You do.
You can't do like tater tots and
it's like and like salt and pepper. Salt is great. Pepper is great. All of those two are a great base.
yes.
But you need like a little bit of something. You just need one more thing.
Yes.
Like whatever that may be, just one more thing. And if you tell me you have a Germanic stomach and you can only handle salt and pepper, go fuck yourself. But I don't feel very strongly about it either way.
Right. Alrighty. Next question. Here we go. All right. Okay. So yeah, this one, I kind of feel bad because I've worked at a couple institutions where this holiday is celebrated, and I sat down and it was explained to like me and the children of the school and all that stuff, but I still have no fucking clue what this holiday is about, and I feel bad. But
You're talking about Diwali, right?
Diwali,
Yeah.
what is Diwali? What is the meaning? What is the history? Like,
Yeah. So like, the short form is that it's a celebration of lights. It's actually a celebration within a certain amount of time that's in the Ramayana.
okay,
So this is the parts that I feel that I don't know why they don't say this too often.
mm-hmm.
To summarize, because it's a celebration of a really really big story. And
Okay.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like they don't give you any of the background data, but you're with me, so you're gonna get all the background.
Nice.
Hanuman lights the way. He eventually helps construct a bridge and lights a way for Ram to get to a certain part in Sri Lanka, or at least in this myth, what's known as the Kingdom of Lanka,
Okay.
to fight the bad guy whose name is Ravan.
Okay.
And what's interesting is like even in Greek myths they have like 10 heads. He has 10 heads. So
And are these are gods?
yeah, these are all
They're
gods.
gods, okay.
Hanuman is basically like the inspiration for Sun Wukong and everything like that.
Oh snap. Okay.
Have I not told you this?
No, I don't.
Yeah, well, yeah. I've definitely mentioned it before, but I don't think I'm surprised I haven't told you this. Real quick, let's do one like in history. When Buddhism comes through the Silk routes to China, a lot of our culture and everything goes there too. And if you look at Sun Wukong, which becomes Goku, and Hanuman, they're nearly identical.
Wow.
Same powers, same look. He carries a mace, like a mace-like weapon, whereas like he carries a staff.
Is that
He
right?
can also make him like 10 stories high. He's stupid invincible. He burns himself. One of the versions of the myths that I've heard is like he burns his tail, or they're trying to torture him, but he's fucking invincible. So they burn his tail, but then he grows really big, takes his tail, and then burns the fucking kingdom.
Whoa.
Because don't fuck with me. There's another part where he helps construct a bridge and then lights along the way. And I'm condensing and I'm also forgetting a little bit, but Diwali is basically to celebrate the celebration of lights, of good triumphing over evil, because once he lights the way, Ram is able to defeat Ravan,
Okay.
and then they're able to go home.
Okay.
That's really what it's really about. Like, and it's actually coming up this month.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually coming this month. So that's really what Diwali is about. And then that's why we have sweets. That's why we light sparklers and stuff like that. It's a way of just being like, we made it around the earth and another celebration of life. That's the big Hindu holiday that everyone talks about. People in America affectionately call it our Christmas. I don't like looking at it that way because
I've heard that before too. Yeah. But
Right,
It isn't. No, it's not the same.
it's not the
context.
same thing. Like we have a lot more. Other cultures have different holidays have more holidays for different parts of the year to celebrate different things, and this is just kind of like, and it's done on a lunar calendar, if I'm not mistaken.
People calling it Christmas seem like they just have no clue what it is about.
It's just bright, like
Yeah.
but it's not just. We're not just having a fat man come through the chimney, like we're doing other stuff too. Like we like it's an excuse to get together too and just eat.
Right.
And that's really what it comes up. But that's the broad strokes of what's going on.
Okay, that's dope. That's something I could get behind right there.
I'm surprised. I was actually really happy you put this question on there because I was like, oh, cool. I can share some of my history there or some of my culture there. And granted,
Nice.
I'm a first generation, very Americanized, but this is still part of who I am.
Nice, cool, man. That's cool. Man, you should get I feel like they should advertise this differently.
It's all about how you package it.
Yeah.
And it's been packaged by people who either are not from the culture or who don't do a good job of it.
Fair. That's fair.
That's pretty much it. As much as I love The Office and the fact that it got us more reps with what Diwali is. Mm-hmm. The fucking catchy song that Michael Scott sings too. She's Carly. Did a disservice in some ways too. But
yeah.
With
comedy, it kind of
didn't work. Didn't work.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah,
now
totally.
Now I'll be ready this year. Okay. Okay. This is the next one. I'm not trying to be offensive.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, but why do you guys shake your heads in that way? How does that come about?
You know, I looked this up and I fucking forgot.
Go for it, man.
So I did some searching on this when you wrote this question, because like I've often wondered this too, and no one, like, it's one of those things that's just as old as time. No one really questions it.
Yeah.
Some of it go towards like comes from dancing, comes from like, because there's so many different types of Indian dancing.
Yes.
It comes from there, or it just comes from, that's kind of what we did for years, just by saying, it's like a polite way of saying yes. And
that is a cool way. That's a cool little way of saying yes. Like,
yeah,
like, sure. Yeah. Like, this person is so chill. Okay.
Okay. So apparently, ancient dancing used to signify harmony. That's what I heard the most when I was doing research.
Ah.
Now, I don't know how much of that is true and how much of that is just conjecture, but that's what I was able to find. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our dances shown in our martial arts and parts of our culture, like a lot of the dances also tell the story of our mythologies too.
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of it. Also, it's just something we fucking do. Like, it's just so old, and it's a way of just like kind of like, yeah, you know, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Yeah. That's where that comes from. It's a fair fucking question because everyone wonders about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that's basically where that comes from.
Interesting. I'm gonna start doing that now.
There's a comedian that does it. He's our age. I think his name is Usman Sadiq, and whenever he's talking about Indian people, there's this part. It's like, you know, Indian people are just coming for jobs, like coming for everybody's jobs now, right? He's like, sooner or later, like, we're just gonna go up to. He does this whole clip about us taking over the clan.
Oh no! Oh no!
and he does the head bob just the way you're doing it. He's Bengali and he's fucking hilarious. He has a very distinct voice too, very, very fucking funny. And he's like, you know, and instead of going after black people, we're gonna go after Indian kids that don't want to go to med school.
Damn.
And then I'm gonna try and get this part where he's like, and this is my wife, who's part of the Aryan Brotherhood, like Nadia, Aparna, Zainab, Imani. Mm-hmm. We call her Nazi for short.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What a rebrand.
Dude, it was exactly that's what it was. and he's like, yeah, I think it was like the part of, yeah, we're taking over different cars. We're buying all the car companies and all that stuff. And then soon we're going to buy the clan. And then this is just what we're going to do. So it'll be a good change for some people.
Oh my god.
But not for people like me.
That is hilarious.
I'll just have a bunch of, and like the craziest part is that the hoods will be from like the best fabric after.
It's so good to like chasing the kids that don't want to be doctors. They're like wearing white coats.
Why did I never make that connection now?
That is
so fucking funny.
Wow.
They just come out and like, instead of horses, you just see them like come out with like a lab cart. And
Nice.
Like Bunsen burners instead of actual like flames that they come with. It just gets even more nerdy as it goes.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
That is hilarious. All right. Okay. So yeah, I've always noticed this whenever I'm out and walking in the park, when I worked out as a developer way out in Chesterfield out here, there's always older couples when they're walking, and it doesn't matter if it's just one man, one woman, or a group of older men and a group of older women. The men are always in like a small party in the front walking, and the women are always in a small party walking in the back. And I'm like, what is going on here?
That are they always older couples?
Older couples.
Okay.
Always older couples.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Not surprised. Definitely the stereotype of men in that generation. They don't know shit, but they're gonna definitely lead the way. They don't know what the fuck is going on, but they can't have a woman lead at all.
Wow.
So they're like, it's like, oh no, I got it. It's okay. I'll fine. I'll walk the path, and then you all can just follow.
Wow.
And then inside he's like, I have no fucking clue.
He's quietly panicking on the inside.
Oh my god. And then somehow makes it to where they're going.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's still a lot of colonial leftovers, like, that I've even seen in my own family. Like, man's got to be man, got to be the center of the income and that whole shit and everything. That's definitely there too. And also just, like, a lot of Indian men of that generation are really fucking weird. Really fucking, like, they love, like, I've met some, now this isn't necessarily my family, but, like, other, like, family friends I've met too, who just like love talking about how much they can drink scotch, and I'm like, we apparently love Maker's Mark. I did not know that was our drink.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
That was, at least for my family, it was. And they were just like, yeah, one guy came, I'll never forget it. I make fun of him all the time to my parents. He's like, oh yeah, he would come and just talk about how much he could drink, and he had nothing else he can talk about. It's just very weird. He's like, oh, I got my drink. I'm like, all right, I don't know what else to fucking talk to you about.
Right.
This is ridiculous. I took it to way extreme on that point, but essentially, they just like to feel important.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Okay. I kind of figured it was something kind of like that.
Yeah.
Gender stuff, but yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna give the benefit of that. I was like, oh, maybe it's like traditional thing or something.
No, it's
I don't
fucking bullshit.
Okay.
Is what it is.
Okay. All right.
I would want to say that it's like, oh, it's because, you know, in mythology, this. No, fuck no. No.
Okay.
It's just them being fucking stupid. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Men ain't shit no matter what group we in.
Oh no, we're all people. We're
Yeah.
all people. That's part of the reason. As awkward as parts of this episode have been, I'll be fully honest. Parts of this episode have been really awkward, and the parts of it I'm gonna take out. But
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Just I was like, the moment I said it, I was like, this is a mistake.
Yeah.
And thanks for sticking with me.
Oh, for sure, man.
I appreciate that. But yeah, like we're all fucked up people at the end of the day.
Fair enough. Good to know that one. All right. Oh yeah, this one we just kind of like talked about.
Do tell.
A little bit. Yeah. Why do Indian parents try to get their kids into white coats, being the doctor coats, not the clan coats? But they try to get them into
Hey,
like.
if we take over that though,
Oh
there'll be some
man,
comfortable ass coats, and they will be really cheap.
it'll be better than it'll be better than the current holders of that title. Believe me. So
For a while.
yeah. But yeah, why do Indian parents try to get you guys to be doctors?
The way I've
lawyers?
decoded it is like a lot of that comes from, especially my parents' generation, first generation to like have to rebuild a country, right? And you're not going to really rebuild a country in the way that the world is set up, in the way that they set up the government, by being in the humanities. Let's just be fucking honest.
Yeah, it never work. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unless you change the entire way of how your government is built, that's just not going to happen. And quite frankly, I can't blame them, because you're essentially more than fucked, to the point where I heard a statistic that the amount that the British, for the amount of the time that they controlled India, somewhere around like $1 trillion of revenue that they had just from being oppressing them and using us as a trade route and stuff like that.
Wow.
Somewhere in the trillions.
Jesus.
Absolutely ridiculous. And their food still fucking sucks.
Yep.
Yeah. So the only way you could really rebuild a country is by like, and there's so many people too. So like the job, the way that you can come back and make a bunch of money is like being a doctor. Being a doctor will get you a lot of money. Being a doctor, being a lawyer, like an accountant and stuff like that.
Right.
Those are like the big trade jobs that people are like, go do this, you'll get a bunch of money, you'll repay everything you've done that we've done for you. And a lot of Indian parents can be, mine are not, but a lot of Indian parents I've seen to be like that too, where they're like, yeah, you have to do this because we invested in you and everything. And I'm like, that may be true, but that's really unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that really comes from that. They want to throw fucking. And also there's this weird notion that I'd always hear. It's like, oh yeah, but it's an easy job after a while. And I'm like, after 20 years? Yeah, sure. I'm sure it's an easy job after 20 years. Oof. Yeah, I'm sure it's a 9 to 5 job after that. Yeah.
Just clock in and clock out.
Yeah, like you have and there's this mystique of like it builds you being a doctor, you have like someone's life in your hands kind of a thing, and builds so much prestige to them and everything.
That's a lot of pressure.
It is a weight. Like that's why I could never do it. Like
Oof.
I am on. No, I know, man. Like, there's too much pressure for me.
I feel guilty about like not watering my plants after a while. Like,
imagine having someone's life in your hands.
Oof, no.
Ronnie Chang said it the best. He's like, why do Asian parents, granted he's East Asian, but like the culture dynamics are similar. They always want their kids to be a doctor or be a lawyer and stuff like that. But then they never want to go see those people whenever they're in trouble or sick.
Yeah.
It's like they're the last person to go. He's like, my mom could have been shot with an arrow. It's like, how about we go to the doctor? He's like, no. They just want our money.
Wow.
And I'm like, God damn it, that's accurate.
Wow.
Because like sometimes I see my parents like dealing with something, and I'm like, why don't you just go to the doctor?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I'm just old. And I'm like, no, they're just gonna ask for money, and I'm like, no, go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Go to the. It's been a persisting issue. Go to the doctor.
Yes, they're going to ask for money, but you also need help.
Yeah. That's basically where that comes from.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense. And yeah, and it seems like too, maybe more so now than later, but like it seems like people are taking those professions. Indian people, not just Indian people, but people of all different cultures come here, get the education for their profession, and just take it back with them.
Yeah. A lot
of
of politicians are even to this day are still trained in the States. Funny, like I'll see them on correspondence from England or different parts of the world, and they'll say like education Tufts or something like that. I was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah.
All right, yeah, this is a good one.
This one I thought was funny.
Yeah, so I got into Bollywood a couple years ago, and
Indeed,
I was mind blown because your actors are shitting on like the American actors. Like you guys can fucking in these movies, you guys are singing. You're all fucking good looking. You're singing. You're dancing your asses off. And you fucking ripped out of your fucking minds. Like 6-pack on top of 6-pack.
First of all, I love you for that. For all those things you just said. Talked to one of my friends to confer on this, who's my other like correspondent on Indian matters as such. We're part of what I like to call the Desi delegation, because I didn't really get into Bollywood too much. My dad wanted us to watch this one movie every weekend, and so it kind of soured my brother and I on Bollywood movies for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's called Sholay. If anyone who's listening knows that movie, and it's like 3 hours long. It did not age well, just in the way that like they fuck around a lot in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Like half of the movie is them doing one thing, and then half is like intensely like about someone like fighting good and evil. And I'm like, well, we just fucked. It's like half of it was Ferris Bueller and half of it was like Die Hard or something. It's very weird.
Wow. Okay.
It's very weird. I'm probably not explaining it well, but that's how I remember it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So a lot of the singing is actually done lip synced.
Oh, okay.
So that is
okay.
Not a lot of them sing. Some do, some don't.
Okay.
The dancing is all real. The dancing is all them. The diets are like they pay people to come and like stay with them and cook for them.
Dietitians and all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Shah Rukh Khan is like in his late 50s and still able to do all this stuff.
Jesus.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Very well trained. A lot of it really started, they were called like masala movies, and they have a very distinct way of going about it. And it just kind of happened naturally. A lot of people came after the 50s, like the Raj Kapoor dynasty. Like there's a whole other podcast episode I could do on this. And I looked up enough to do this episode, but they came in, established a lot of things very quickly. And there is this like background of performance in Indian culture, whether it being from dancing or from going around and telling part of the myths around. So that was already there. It was just kind of in the background.
Yeah.
This is one way for that to be presented. And they were always copying Western movies all the time.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah. Like
2 to 3 times as many movies in Hollywood, in Bollywood movies, and even Tollywood and other parts of South Asian subcontinent. Because there's Tollywood, there's I think Pakistan has their own version,
Okay.
and parts of South India have their own version. RRR was not a Bollywood production; it was a Tollywood production.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a big problem with that because when they shipped it, they dubbed it again in Hindi instead of the South Indian dialects.
Wow.
Which
Okay.
is really weird. I don't know why they did. And that was weird and problematic, and there's a lot more that happens that's weird and problematic. But aside from that, we're just that amazing. And it's an untapped market. That's finally getting like it's weird to see it's cool to see it, but
Yeah.
like sometimes I'll see on Time magazine, like in the past years, like they'll see like the most influential people in the world, and then like Shah Rukh Khan's on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm happy, but I'm also like, holy shit. And he has had a tremendous thing. The story that I heard about him is that he was a driver for a while.
Okay.
And he drove a guy to a set, and the director saw the guy they came out. He's like, hey, sorry, I'm late. I'm here. And he saw Shah Rukh Khan. He's like, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm just the driver. I'm going to go soon. He's like, no. I want you in my movie. Like,
wow.
And I think he cast the guy who he drove aside.
Damn.
But that's how he got discovered.
Wow.
And there's that famous scene with him, the Chaya Chaya song.
Uh-huh.
Where he's marrying them. Well, basically looks like a Michael Jackson outfit.
Yeah.
And they're jumping on a train and doing that whole thing. A bunch of people got injured and everything on that.
Damn. Oh, yeah. That's another aspect I didn't think about.
There was no safety cables, nothing.
Ooh.
So like there's issues with that. I got off on a bit of a tangent there, but yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So part of it staged, part of it is yes, they are that good.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude.
And I remember like very fondly, I brought this up earlier in another episode, but like I remember very fondly talking to you during quarantine, and you were like, so they can sing, dance, and I like just like an anime character, I saw your eyes turn to the camera and just like glisten, like they were shaking like this, and they're shredded, and I almost wanted to like jump through safely the the camera and go pat you on the head and go, yes sir, yes they are. It's like, and one day you will be there too.
Oh, man. I would love it there. Oh, my goodness.
It's a fun visit. I'll say that.
Nice.
It's a fun visit.
Nice. That's cool, man. Okay, yep. So we got into a bit of it with my line of questioning, but
Yeah.
I've noticed that among your people, there's also the division of lighter skin or fair skin versus the darker skin.
Yeah, it's bad. Oh,
Yeah.
it's very bad. It's called snowy white phenomenon.
Oof.
Yeah, that's what I remember being called back when I was a kid, and there was a whole article about it and everything. Like there's some, and it's still a problem today in productions. Like they sometimes give people who have darker complexions like medications to make their skin whiten.
Same in us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've heard Shah Rukh Khan was a lot darker when he started. Which is really just disappointing,
Yeah.
honestly. A lot of it's culturally still an issue. I've definitely heard people say to me, he's like, oh, it's okay, you're not dark and ugly. And I'm like,
Oh.
that's a weird compliment. Yeah, and it's a shame. Because, and then you have the whole, I wonder how much like ancient, like pre-colonial times that was there and how much it wasn't. Because like you hear about India, like Indus River Valley people who were dark in complexion, and then the Indo-Aryans that come in from the north. And of course there was clashes and everything like that. But they were supposedly lighter skinned because they come from different parts of the Middle East and like
the climate.
part of Afghanistan, Iran, other areas like that. And but like Hindu, like the craziest part is that Hinduism is actually a syncretic religion. And I'm not even talking now. I'm talking like when it was solidified and when they started finding like the Upanishads and all of like the early writings like 5,000 years ago.
Okay.
At that point,
Wow.
it was combined.
Right. Okay. Wow.
So that completely destroys a lot of people's perceptions of like, oh, this happened later. Like, no. They like had some sort of harmony and understanding at that point.
Right.
Were there problems? I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's always funny to me. Is like, oh, that happened now. I'm like, no, this is old news.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it can be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Also, it depends where you go. Also, I feel there's another factor of like the younger generation is not that much into it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of get that sense. Yeah.
They're really not. It's always funny to me when I even when I meet Pakistani like friends, we're totally fine. Like it helps that we're both American, but like, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? Do you think it's still a big deal, like in India right now?
Oh, tremendously.
Okay.
You should hear the anti-Pakistan rhetoric I hear sometimes at some gatherings.
Oh, nice.
It's scary.
Oof.
It makes me go like, I just kind of want to throw a smoke bomb and leave, kind of thing. Just like Indian ninja out of here. Let's go. Yeah, it's bad. And say this phrase, but it is what it is. And it's a lot of the older generation because they saw it happen too.
Yeah.
Especially some people that I growing up with. So, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Didn't mean to be a buzzkill.
Oh, no worries, man. This damn skin.
I know, right? It's just like, yeah, it's actually kind of funny. I met one of my friends, Chinese family, and I hadn't seen him in a long time, and I met his parents after like years, and you definitely like, it was hilarious because I just didn't expect it. Like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, I stuck my hand out there, and like, oh, hey, you got a lot lighter.
Oh my, ow, what?
And I was just very surprised.
Oh, dude.
And then like later at dinner, they asked me, he's like, they were all talking to each other, and then I said something, and someone goes like, so yeah, you from Pakistan or India? And like everyone got super quiet.
Whoa, Jesus.
And I was like, I'm from India. And they're like, oh, okay. And they resumed back to their conversation, and I was
Jesus,
like,
man.
I was like, what? I was like, you guys aren't even Indian or Pakistani. What is going on?
Right. Why do you have a horse in this race?
He's like, you have none. The horses are not even at the stable for this one.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very odd.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Well, for this last one, this is not even a question. This is just a statement, a matter of fact. Y'all be fucking. Y'all be fucking. It's so many of y'all. Like behind China, you guys are like right there in terms of population, and
I love to compete.
Man, I'm impressed. Keep up the good work.
We like to fuck. Not even the Kama Sutra. There's not even a Kama Sutra joke out in there. But like part colonial, part we just love fucking. I don't really know the full answer for it, except for poverty and post-colonial answers for it.
That's usually the case, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, anywhere is
We
like
have nothing else to do, but like, well, we can fuck.
Yeah.
We have no entertainment to do. We're only gonna work as slaves and then do this. Like a lot of the sad part of a lot of these questions is like a lot of it is done by poverty and war.
Yeah.
Let's just be fucking honest.
Yeah.
Let's just be fucking honest.
Yeah.
I want to extend a good amazing music and dancing. Good fucking job. You speak for all black people at this point.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I speak for most Indian people at this point, so and totally accurate and appropriate to say. But
right.
both of us come from great cultures of music.
Oh, for sure,
and
definitely,
and dancing.
Yeah,
and both copy each other.
Oh yeah, definitely,
tremendously.
Yeah, Dashiki Prince. That's you guys.
You mentioned that before.
Yep.
Please explain.
Yeah, so apparently, an Indian woman explained this to me that because I used to wear dashiki prints at my old job.
Oh, Prince. I think you said Prince, but go ahead.
Oh, no,
Okay,
dashiki prints. Yeah,
yeah.
The design is actually influenced by Indian culture.
I'm not surprised.
That they use on there. The like forks is like 3 little forks or something that's on dashikis.
Oh, the Triceratops.
Yes, yeah,
okay,
yeah. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, that's where it comes from. Totally blew my fucking mind.
Some of the best shirts you'll get, and my mom is really sweetly showed like her haul that she got from India recently. She's just like, she's got a whole suitcase ready for clothes for everybody from the family, and they're all spectacular. And my mom said this once when I was a kid, it's like the best shirts you'll ever get are from India, and without a doubt, most of the shirts that I've gotten that look really good on me are all from India. Mm-hmm. It's just so true.
Masters of the textile.
Yep. Masters of the textile. We know how to fuck with colors. Quality's really good. We have different cultures that influence us, whether they be brought in by war or trade. They know how to blend in really well with that, pun intended. Yeah, and there's a ton of, I am blanking on them, but I think it's like, is it sambosas?
I think that's.
Is that from Ghana?
I think so.
Is it from Ghana or is it from Nigeria?
No.
Nigeria?
It's one of those. Yeah, you're close.
I think it's Nigeria.
Yeah.
And there's there's been a lot of overlay with Indian and certain, like, since we don't know.
Right.
A lot of overlay with like Indian and African cultures. Aside from me going off of my whole historical tirades, like Tamil language, like as a language sounds way too, I don't know, it sounds way too African. Honestly, which makes sense. Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And Yeah, and so whenever I see like, and if Swahili is a trade language, you have a ton of people going all around the majority of Africa to come and trade around, and you'll definitely have relations with that. So with that babbling to say, there's been a ton of overlay.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a ton of back and forth. I've heard sambosas. I've heard of like a lot of the. I've been to Mescarim, and a lot like
Ethiopian
it
food.
looks.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Ethiopian food. It looks like I'm eating Indian food sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time.
Spices, all that stuff. Yeah.
I would say it's not as like heat wise high, but I also feel Mescarim might be a specific region.
Yeah.
But like the taste, like even the bread that they use, I was like, this is just this. I forgot what kind of bread. This is like the
injera,
and like it was like a thicker dosa.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of very thick dosa in that way. Like, but you had the same cauliflower dish we have. We have gobi. The way like lamb is cooked is beautiful. Is very similar. And so I was just eating there. I'm like, I feel like I just had this at my mom's house. So it was
That's amazing.
It was very cool to have that. It was distinct, but incredibly similar at the same time. Yeah. Did we go too far in this episode?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think we went far enough. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, any questions that pop up in your mind?
No, I don't think I have anything. Y'all fuck with elephants too, right?
We do.
Y'all fuck with elephants.
We fuck with elephants. We like elephants.
I fucks with elephants.
They pretty cool.
They pretty cool.
They're majestic as fuck. I rode an elephant, and then I found out later, oh, that wasn't a very reputable place because you're not supposed to ride them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It felt really weird because, like, why do they have chains on their legs? And, like, what is going on here? And we were not told that was the case when we went there.
Yeah.
But I had an elephant spray me with water, and that was majestic.
Nice.
Aside from the chains. I've heard Thailand has a better, maybe, I think it was just that specific one. But yeah, we definitely love elephants. They are majestic as fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure Ghana fucks with elephants too.
Yeah. Elephants are pretty big in Africa.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They're bigger in Africa.
Yes, they are.
I've heard that I only know this because I played like one of the Uncharted games and they talk about this. But the Asian elephants, quote unquote, are smaller.
Yeah. African elephants will fuck you. They like fuck you up. Yeah.
I bet, dude.
Yeah, there's a video of them. Somebody, I forget where, but like they're being chased by an African elephant. But like they got too close, and they're in a car flooring it, and you can see like the big ears and the tusks coming down the road, and like it's just galloping like towards it. I'm like, do not stop, please, car, do not break down, because you guys are gonna get fucked. Yeah.
Did they make it or what?
They made it. They made it, luckily. And only because it got disinterested. Like, it was like, I'm done.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Like
you guys
it's
are
far enough away from me or out of where my family is that I don't have to worry about
that. But they can move.
I've heard they're highly, like, I've heard stuff that they can remember you. They will just eat bananas, like, whole, which is insane.
Oof. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they're big enough, too.
They can do it.
Yeah. They, apparently, a woman pissed off an elephant that it killed.
Mistake number one.
It killed her. Apparently, and I don't know how much this is true, was on the internet. It killed her, and then after like a couple of days later, like went to her like funeral and like stomped on the body, like just had it out, and then like after that, like fucked over the gravesite, like really had something against this woman. I don't know what it was.
What did she do?
I don't know. This is an internet story, so take it with a grain of salt. But if it's true, fuck.
Probably a Karen. It's all good.
Yeah. Makes sense. Good work, elephant.
That's right.
All right. Yeah. Maybe I could tack on to just to tack on for that question about why we date white people. I think also too, it's like a taboo thing too. For a lot of it's like it's always that forbidden.
I hear you. Forbidden fruit.
It's right. Like, yeah.
Which is also inherently just bad because it's just like you're making that out to be an object, and it's like, oh god, it's just no matter how you cut it, it's so bad.
It's a lot of crazy dynamics because like, not to tie it back into fucking slavery, but like
it's what it is, man.
It's like slave masters, men and women, white women, like white women used to like fuck what they owned.
Yeah,
and there's that whole dynamic of that, and that's still like has like the trauma dealing with that like translates over to the day.
Wow.
So
yeah, I mean, I heard one of my cousins. I haven't looked into this, but there's this movie Lagan, and one of the characters I think is Anglo-Indian, and because he's Anglo-Indian, he gets certain rights.
Yeah.
Above other Indian people that are there, and he's like the big big bad in the story. And it's funny because sometimes I go to India and people ask me if I'm Anglo-Indian, and I'm like, no.
Oh,
And,
wow.
yeah, and I'm just like, no, I'm not. I'm just really fair skinned. That's really it.
Like, are you sure? Because there's a bunch of privileges over here.
No, I don't want them. You can throw them away. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm good.
Same thing here in the United States. If you were if you were like very fair, like as a black person, a lot of black people like wrote that line of, yeah, I'm white, sure, just for out of safety.
Yeah.
Part of it I get to understand because like it's like you want to live and like you're trying to just protect yourself, you know.
Right.
And another part is like, you left everybody else like
Behind.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I get it. It's survival tactic.
Yeah,
so.
I get it too.
Yeah.
A lot of other things I've heard too, specifically about dating white people or in general, is that there's so much inherent trauma that is involved with parts of our community, especially like our generation. At least for Indian people, it's like I met someone who was like, yeah, I can't date any Indian guys. And I was like, why? I was like, there's too much trauma associated with it.
That's a big part. Yeah, man.
And I was like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Same for us, man.
Yeah.
There's like there's too much familiarity in the trauma with
You know
with
too
each
much
other.
of the same trauma.
So it was like I'll just opt out and just deal with something completely new. And yeah.
At least it's like a new trauma. It's like, yeah, it's like okay, fine. It's
right.
Like, it's the myth of like you'll not have the trauma with them, but it's just a different trauma.
Exactly.
That's what it really comes out to.
Yeah.
It's like weird. I remember seeing like the guy from Ugly Delicious and a couple other chefs who were Korean descent, and they were talking about this one punishment that they had to do, like squat and then also hold a book over their heads.
Oh wow.
And it was insane because it was like every Korean American that was saying that. And so like they're like, yeah, we just don't want to date. And I can imagine like, you know, you don't want to date someone that had the same trauma as you growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got dark all of a sudden.
It did.
Yeah.
Which is what we like here. We like dark people.
Dark. Keep it dark and spicy. That's
We like everybody. Dark and spicy.
that's totally gonna be like the tagline for this episode.
Dark and spicy. Oh yes. Now I'm hungry.
Oh
man.
Yeah. There's still parts of me that I'm like, how the fuck did I come up with these questions?
Yeah. Oh man, if you did want to tap on the why our music is great, then we can.
Sure, if you don't mind. I
don't mind.
Yeah.
I think first of all, our music. I think why I like black music.
So let me explain. It's like
Go ahead.
I may have taken this out at this point, but essentially what I said was, why is the music so great?
Yeah.
Why is the dancing always so great? So
Yeah,
that's what I said.
The reason why our dancing and music is so great is because the black man is the fucking shit. First of all, like most copied species on the planet.
No disagreement. No disagreement at all.
But I think when you have nothing else, like historically, when I talk about the black man, I'm speaking specifically from like just an African American standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
When you've been bombarded with so much like bullshit, it's like at a certain point you gotta just like live your life and find joy in something. And I think our outlet was dancing and music. That's a good way to like cope and also like be a form of therapy in a sense.
Really saw that the crack I'm not even trying to be funny, like really see that in the crack cocaine epidemic and the fall and like the rise of rap, really.
Oh yeah. It's like we take that negative, spin it, and like it'll be our essentially our outlet essentially. Yeah. So yeah, jazz like jazz came from, you know,
yeah,
like the trauma of fucking like being in the South and like
just so funny now because now it's played for like rich country clubs.
Yeah, so fucking ironic, isn't it? Yeah.
It's
so
very funny.
Yeah.
Questlove is he just came on Conan's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about his dad being a big doo-wop fan, like being a doo-wop player back in the day.
Yeah.
And how he wanted him to actually take classical music for his training.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't want to do that.
Uh-huh.
Stupid. But it was a way of getting a leg up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You get that context, you get that background. It's like, you'll get a leg up over the competition for sure.
That's exactly what he said. Getting a leg up in the competition.
Yeah, and then you see it translate through, like say rap, hip hop shit is like one of the most fucking copied things now today.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like, all the like Korean like pop
K-pop.
bands and K-pop and all that stuff, like rapping on the beat and stuff. BTS, I think they had a show back in the day for any of my BTS fans out there. Where they came to LA and fucking like Coolio like hazed them and like put them through a training program essentially.
No way.
Yeah. I'll share the deets with that that later.
I'm
but
so sad he's gone.
yeah, man. But I was like, what the fuck am I experiencing? Like they came here and like as soon as they get out of the car, like some big dudes like put like bags over their heads and like take them to undisclosed location.
Oh my god.
And this Coolio was like right there, like yeah, we finna do this.
I need to see this shit.
Yes. But yeah, a lot of hip hop is just it's so mainstream right now that it's like not even funny.
You know, even 20 years ago, I was watching, or I guess it would be 30 years ago. I was watching Wayne's World this past weekend just to get over a bad fever, not COVID. Relax.
Excellent.
Yeah. And the guy who's like promoting Noah's Arcade, he's like, let me tell you this rap I'm doing. And he does just like a really bad rap that the movie doesn't even acknowledge it. And they just kind of move on. I was like, oh, God, even corporate America at that point was trying to do something about it. It's definitely the most copied. Definitely, it's a way of rebellion. It's a way of, and yeah, it's good. Thank you for readdressing that question. Because
sure,
I was like, as I was saying it, I'm like, this just sounds worse and worse coming out. But
it should be fine. It's fine to me. I don't know how people, but to me, it's fine.
That's okay. We got like 30 listeners here.
No, fair enough.
That we love.
That we do love. Yes,
we do love. But
yes,
you know. And part of this whole thing was just kind of clear the air and ask questions we've always wanted to ask, really.
Yeah.
And never really had the chance to ask.
For sure.
Because you worry about coming too racist and everything. I feel like this is the best way to do it. Just like having it low-key, having it people you trust.
Exactly.
And kind of go from there.
Yeah.
Because we're still going to ask each other questions.
Oh, yeah.
When it's just us, playing video games and stuff like that. But yeah, unless you got anything else, I'd like to wrap it there.
I don't know, man. We're doing the work. We're doing the work.
That's what we do.
We're gonna keep this black and brown partnership going.
That's right.
And we're gonna go over each other's house and have the greatest food
always
ever.
Always. Fuck yes. I'm so excited right now. You have no idea. All right, that's it, folks. Thank you, Sid.
All right, no problem, man.
Hey, fan peeps. Thanks for listening, and I'd love any feedback you have for me. Please follow the Facebook page, They Need a Hobby, and follow us everywhere, social media-wise, under the handle @TNAHpod. That goes for Twitter and Instagram, and one of these days, I'll be super popular.